What is going on, Broncos country? What an absolute game we had this week. What craziness is going on in the AFC and across the NFL. All right. We have our quarterback, Bo Nix, and our boys, right? 12-2, right? On an 11-game win streak out here crushing it. All right. We have our quarterback, fortunately, but unfortunately, snatching the knees of one of the best pass rushes in the league, right? And just dapping up our boys in the end zone for touchdowns. Easily the greatest performance we've seen from Bo yet. Right? We had Michael Bandy out here fully redeeming himself and getting a first touchdown. It's been wild. We have so much to get into. We have the Jags coming up. Boys, listen, job's not done. We got a lot to get into. So you know what? Let's get into it.
Smooth, the pins to chew, breaking down plays about to debut. Denver pride in every view, nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights of my heart in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews, celebrating wins, analyzing the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. No orange and blue.
Nothing rhymes with orange and blue podcast.
Let's go. Bro. All right. So, Jay, just like I said in the intro, a lot happened across the AFC. We got Patrick Mahomes out for the season with the Chiefs. Chiefs officially eliminated for the first time since the 2015 season, right? Eliminated from the playoffs. You'll love to see it. We've got a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers coming out here and Grandpa Rivers out here dapping up and almost beating the Seattle Seahawks. Didn't have that on my 2025 bingo card. No. I don't know if you did. And then we've got, our quarterback, Bo Nix, out there just slinging the ball like he's been doing it, not for 2 years, but for like at least 6, like a well-seasoned quarterback, finding his receivers, getting away from pressure, throwing on the move. I mean, what an absolute game to watch. And just if with everything that's happened this week, is your mind not blown like mine is?
Dude, what a time to be alive, man. It is something special to be able to gloat and pump our chest out as Bronco fans. Not only from a local standpoint, like we all get to do victory laps, around the local landscape because, I think we all should be happy in the celebration of this. But from a national perspective, it is just so awesome to see people like Nick Wright bathing in his own tears and just so many doubters and so many people that have written us off as, again, title of this show tonight, frauds who write us off as frauds, come back to, eat their own words, man. And it was just so much sweeter to have the performance that we did when we did, with at the same time seeing, New England, the person that we're battling for with that number 1 seed, also just completely choke and completely come up, to kind of maybe show their true colors and maybe a pivot point for their season. So to your point, like there was just so many positive things that went our way, non-Bronco related on Sunday, that, man, it's just such a great week to be a Bronco fan right now. How are you feeling, man? Didn't get to hear from you post game. What's your big explosion reaction to the big victory against the Packers?
I mean, I think my two biggest takeaways from that game and watching it was at some point people are going to have to start realizing that Bo Nix is a good quarterback, right? He is very good. Like we all see it, right? We all believe in Bo Himothy, right? We all believe in Bo Himothy. We all know what Bo can do. We know the potential. We can see the potential. But every time that we've gone up against somebody, whether it be the Eagles, whether it be Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, after a Chiefs bye, Green Bay, Houston, right? We've had all these games where everybody we were the underdog yet again with home field advantage against Green Bay. Right? Vegas was like, oh yeah, no, like don't get me wrong, it wasn't like way underdogs. We were still the underdogs, right? And then we got our quarterback out there during the press conference, like, my mom thinks we can win, so I feel pretty good. And then he goes up and he has that kind of performance. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then
talk about answering the bell. I mean,
yeah, like
biggest moment.
Like you can't. We're getting to the point now where you can't sit here and just ignore Denver again. I mean, and not only that, with the New England loss, right? Not only are we circling, we're circling our division, right? I'm pretty sure that we have I think we have like an 88% chance to win the division, right? Cool.
So actually, I've got that breakdown right in front of me here. So we take the division on Sunday with a win and a Charger loss. Simple as that. Literally just two things to happen for us to clinch the division on Sunday. And then the scenario for us to clinch the number 1 seed, which is crazy to think with 2 games, after this Sunday to still be played on our schedule. We could lock up the number 1 seed this Sunday with a win, a Chargers loss, a Patriots loss, and a Buffalo loss. So there's a lot of prongs involved in that. But the fact that we have a scenario to clinch the first seed this Sunday is wild, man.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Like I said, it's because here's my thing, right? Is everybody up until the point I think until this game, all I heard about was just hate on Bo as per usual. Oh, the guy's never won a playoff game. He went to the playoffs for the first time last season, right?
As a rookie.
And as a rookie, right? And he went up against Josh Allen, who was an MVP candidate last year, right? It's not fair. Here you now going into this postseason as, I mean, leagues above a lot of the other teams in the AFC. I mean,
yeah,
and I'm still hearing pundits. I'm still hearing guys like, I was locked in listening to First Things First. Really, I was just listening to it because I wanted to hear Nick Wright cry. But I mean, they're all talking about old man Aaron Rodgers and how great he did, right? With Monday Night Football against Miami. Like Miami's falling off a cliff. It's on fire. I'm not gonna lie. I feel good about it because Miami absolutely put BTA to us a couple seasons ago, and I still hurt a little bit from that because that was ridiculous. But to see them fall off a cliff and they're on fire, and then people are like, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers out there with a broken hand slinging the ball," like what? I expect that from Aaron Rodgers, all right? And then we have Drake May, who they're like, "Oh, Drake May is the greatest quarterback, like second coming of Tom Brady." Which again, if there's anybody that's a fraud, it's got to be New England. And that's not me just saying that as a Broncos fan. That's me looking at all the data and looking at everything, looking at their schedule. And then when they go up against Josh Allen, getting absolutely, like, they were up, 21-0 going into the half?
Yeah.
And then absolutely get eviscerated. It's absolutely eviscerated. So, really, don't get me wrong, we were down 19-0 coming into the second half against the Giants. Right? Like, didn't know what was going on. We came back and won that game, right? We didn't let up. We were like, we're coming back. It's so between all of this, very good run that we're gonna have, I think, for the playoffs. And you know what? We may end up going to this postseason with Bo still not technically winning a playoff game. But do you count it as a win if you clinch the first round bye?
That's what I've been saying is like basically and I'd say the same thing in fantasy football of, well, if you get the first round bye, if you automatically go to the second round, then that is a W. That's an automatic win. You can earn a W in the regular season. And, if we can get that number 1 seed, man, it's as good as a W because, at the end of the day, then you get obviously the extra week of rest, which is super nice. But you give your opponents a week to get injured. You get your opponents a week to get tired, fatigued. So it goes both ways in that regard. But yeah, man, to your point, from a fraud perspective, like the Patriots have had the easiest schedule. I know we're up there as far as easiest schedules as well. Our strength of victories in and itself. But at the end of the day, like getting that number 1 seed is so important, I feel like, for our success into the playoffs because going to Denver is such a home field advantage. Obviously, we're on a 12-game home winning streak, 12 games going back into last season. It would be monumental to get that number 1 seed. So I just I'm hoping for a Chargers loss. I'm hoping for New England to slip a little bit more because it's totally obtainable. I said on post game and pre game on Sunday that my goal now for season is to make it so that last game of the year versus the Chargers doesn't matter, and we can rest starters and we can just pack it in for that game because the Chargers are technically still knocking on the door of being able to win the division, being able to, get higher seed in the playoffs. So like that game might actually really matter if we make it that way.
I mean, I'll tell you what I was telling right before we started this, and what I said 2 weeks ago is I think honestly the best thing for us to do is to win out. Keep going.
Well, sure.
Keep this train going, right? I'm not gonna say I'm not. I'm a little worried about the Jags, right? Only because the Jags are also now those guys have been on a tear. All right. They're
hot.
Those guys are hot right now, right? We are too, all right? But those guys are hot right now, and those guys are coming, and and the AFC South is an absolute battleground right now for who's gonna make it, right? So with all that being said, I think as long as we keep going, even if I think it's going to come down to that Chargers game, we're going to have to play that. I don't think we're going to be able to sit. I think that Chargers game is going to be our put everything out on the table to secure that first round bye, to rest our guys because they're all going to be playing in that game. I think that's what it's honestly going to boil down to. But it'll
certainly matter a lot more for them than it will for us, no matter what. Even if it is something for us to play for, I think the Chargers will, depending on how their rest of their schedule looks, like maybe that's the game for them to even make the playoffs, like do or die kind of thing. So it could be a very, very critical game. Again, if we let it, we do control our own destiny. To your point, if you win out, even before that Charger game, it doesn't matter. We're all good if we get to that point. But
so let's get into these comments. As always, like a good neighbor, Gary Neighbors is here.
Mr. Neighbors, how you doing,
Mr. Neighbors? Go Broncos country, number 1 best team, 12-2. Couldn't agree more. What a season we've had. We got Mile High Medlock, one of the co-men right there on the Oukast podcast. All right, go check them out. We'll get into so when they're on. And then you know what? My boy's here. One of my boys is here. Old Bronco Rob in the house. What up, baby? Good old Bronco Rob. He says, "Go Broncos, baby. Let's effing go. Best team in the NFL." And let's see. Rob comes in again, but do we really want to rest starters? Have a bye week? Could be too much downtime. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think we are. I don't think we're going to have that opportunity. I really don't. I think that we're going to play him. I think we're going to beat the Jags. We're going to go to KC. We're going to beat KC on home turf because they're down. They're hurting bad with I understand you were like, you're looking at me, Jay, like, but home field advantage, it's a different animal when you walk into Arrowhead. I understand.
Yeah, dude.
Gardner Minshew being under center is good for us. All right. That O-line is broken down. They're hurting. And when our boys get a hold, Gardner Minshew is not as shifty as Patrick Mahomes.
But we're talking Travis Kelce farewell tour. We're talking all the Swifties on lock, watching on Christmas
Mr.
night.
Mr. Swift literally got intercepted on and was falling apart as soon as he saw his boy get taken off the field. I am worried.
I mean, they are a broken team. They very much are. I don't care what team is out there. Any team in Arrowhead is going to be a tough go. But
we got Tim Dog in the house. What's up,
Tim
fellas?
Dog, what up,
Tim Dog?
Peace
and then Rob agrees with you. KC can suck it. Yes, her.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I said, I think that through everything, just the way that this AFC conference is shaping up, it's going to be a dogfight, but we're on top. I mean, the fact that we have lost, we have been through what? We're going into week 16?
Correct.
We're going into week 16. In 16 weeks of football, we have lost 2 games of a combined points of 4.
Yeah.
They have not been able to beat us by a touchdown.
Yeah.
4 points is wild to me.
It is. So let me ask you, and maybe I'm asking the wrong person because, I mean, you were the champion of the I am so afraid of the Jacksonville Jaguars narrative a couple weeks ago. But are you still scared of Jacksonville? Is that still your number one team that you don't want to see in the playoffs? Because we're getting a little preview this Sunday, obviously, although it's not a playoff game. But it might as well, at least from a Jacksonville standpoint, they've got a lot to lose. Obviously, they're fighting for their division with Houston right now. Yeah.
So I'm not afraid. I am not afraid of Jacksonville. I am cautious of them. Right. And the reason why I'm cautious of them is for the exact reason that you said. They are in a dogfight. Right, between Houston and listen, the Colts, even with Old Man Rivers, they are still in talks. They are on the bubble, right? And guess what? Old Man Rivers put up a heck of a game against easily one of the best teams in the NFC right now. All right, yep. He went toe to toe with Sam Darnold and JSN.
Surprising.
And the defense the Colts defense is hurt right now, right? They're having like last season with the Lions, where it was just littered with injuries. And didn't let JSN go put up 44 on them, right? So it's still a dogfight between 3 teams in the AFC South for who's going to be in the playoffs. And Jacksonville was hot right now. Those guys are going out. They're playing a heck of a game. They have easily one of the best, other than Big Nuts Lutz, one of the best kickers out there. All right, Cam Little has made what? Not 1 but 2. 70-yard plus field goals.
Super good.
So even if we're up by 2 and we stop them 3 and out at their 40, Cam Little's proven, hey, this is in my range.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't necessarily saw all the matchups or whatnot coming into this game for Jacksonville, but they don't do one thing really, really well. They're a pretty well-rounded team. They have a pretty, high floor. They do everything pretty well. Travis Etienne, I was such a hater in a fantasy football perspective coming into this year for him. I thought like, oh man, like Tootin, or I can't remember the other running back, but like there were two other running backs in line to steal basically all his carries, and he was done. This is his last year of his rookie contract. I thought he was going to pack it in, but he's had a crazy career resurgence. And Trevor Lawrence, man, wow. Very much underrated quarterback.
Absolutely.
He's really stepped up and had a career year as well. So it's hard to know what to be scared of with Jacksonville, because there's not just some one specific reason as to why they are where they are. It's a culmination of a lot of different things. They're just so well-rounded.
I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more with you there. Like I said, it's one of those things that Trevor Lawrence is quick. He can sling the ball quick, right? So that's going to put pressure on our pass rush to get to him, right? Etienne, good running back, right? I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of Huafonga safety coverages to stop that run. I think we're going to see a lot of that. And I mean, honestly, it's their defense has been making good stops. They've been doing really well. So I mean, I suspect they're gonna. Again, we just went up against the Packers though. Like I said, their defense is like our offense is really for this game is what's our offense going to look like? Is it good? Are we going to have the same offense that we just had against Green Bay? Well, or are we going to have
a couple of things? And I guess you can say this on both sides of the ball here, but like, there is a lot to know or a lot to think about as to what we're expecting to see out of the Broncos as far as the effects of these injuries that we just had versus the Packers. Obviously, and we're going to talk about this, I'm sure, but the Brandon Jones injury going to IR, that's a massive loss for the backside of this defense. But I think to like what you were saying originally of why I bring this up is our offense is going to look a heck of a lot different if RJ Harvey's done for a little bit and we don't have him ready to go. Like he did not return in the Packer game. He got hurt. I don't remember exactly. I think it was like a hip pointer or something like that. But like that could be a large cloud of what the heck are we going to do if Harvey is gone? Because man, we rely on him so much with Dobbins out. Rib injury. That's right, Rob. Thank you. Which is
Rob, I'll give you flowers. Rib injury.
Terrible injury for a running back to have.
Which brings me to this point, which is, if that's the case, how much faith do you have in Jaleel? And how between
running backs off the street for practice squad.
Listen, I mean, I'll tell you right now. I'll say it. I'll continue to say it. I like Prentice. Just put a fullback back there and just run Prentice. I just like, hey, you don't got to be fast if you can just run over everybody. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be quick.
Honestly, right. I think if Harvey is out, it'll be one of those things where Jaleel might have a little uptick in carries, but really the guy that would be catapulted into the number one slot would be Tyler Bidet. I think Bidet is a third down back that can pass pro extremely well. Again, Bidet is more well-rounded than Jaleel. He's got the favor of Sean Payton. He's been elevated when he probably shouldn't have been compared to others. Like he was elevated far before Jaleel this season as far as who's going to get a uniform for the game. So I think it'd definitely be a Tyler Bidet show if Harvey was out, which isn't a great thing. Like that's not ideal, obviously, but that's a scary thought to me. What are your thoughts on the Brandon Jones injury on the defensive side of the ball?
Between Brandon Jones and the Stranad got hurt too, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
I haven't heard updates from the Stranad or Harvey camp on their injury. Just so obviously Jones because of the IR.
Yeah. Jones, that one's gonna hurt. I think I'm more worried about the Stranad injury.
Really?
I think so. And the reason why I think I feel that way is because Strenat is such a versatile linebacker, whether it be in the pass rush or in the coverage,
He's
right?
played well. He has.
Like that's the only reason why I think I'm worried more so about the Strenat. Plus, we haven't heard anything, as you just said. I was like, remember Strenat got hurt, and I was like, not good. But I mean, obviously, you think the Brandon Jones one is more significant. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, Brandon Jones is, the superior player. I mean, like, he was our leading tackler last year. He's starting, safety on the best defense in the league. So, I mean, that's going to be a hole to fill. And no, before anyone opens their mouth, Justin Simmons is not coming to town. I don't foresee them bringing in anyone in any sort of replacement. We had heard that, Jahdae Barron had experience playing safety. Jahdae Barron has experience playing different positions. I think that's the whole point of why we have such amazing depth in our secondary, is to overcome a injury. And honestly, we've, other than the PS2 injury, really been unscathed on that side of the ball for the most part. But if Jones is out, then it's going to be PJ Locke. And, like I said, I think we're going to see a little bit more Jahdae Barron up top. And, I guess JL Skinner technically is in that shuffle as well, although I don't necessarily count my, count my eggs before they hatch when it comes to Skinner. But I mean, like, dude, PJ Locke is serviceable. PJ Locke was a starter for us last year. Granted, he was the weakest link of this defense last year, but I mean, we have depth at the injury that we got with Jones, and that's a blessing. Whereas, to your point, I mean, the Strenat injury, we don't have depth at linebacker. Like, that is, with Drew Sanders already out, and Lavelle Bailey, I guess, getting elevated from practice squad. Like, there just ain't a whole lot of bodies for that position. So that Strenat injury is going to be pretty big if that is long term. You're right.
Yeah. So going forward, let's talk about let's go away from the injuries. Let's go away from the nightmares, right?
Bad.
The nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Womp, womp.
So I saw that. I think I saw like today or yesterday. It was where the stock and trade deadline, right? And it was talking to that apparently that we did have a bid in for Waddle. Right.
Yeah.
And that I don't know if it was true, but I saw like a post or something where they had like the graphic of Waddle in orange and blue, right? And they were like, talking about it. It was just too expensive or whatnot. But we didn't make a move. We didn't get Waddle, right? How do you feel about our receiver core after the game we just saw? Where we had guys like we had Michael Bandy making a redemption of coming out there, getting the ball, getting a touchdown. We had been bad-mouthing him. We thought he was gone. I don't think I kind of when that happened, I was like, when it said Michael Bandy, I was like, I thought we got rid of him. I thought that we signed him like away. And all of a sudden, all of a sudden he's back. He's catching a touchdown pass. We got LaJordan Humphrey out here with a touchdown, right? A very undercover good touchdown, right? And then of course we have old reliables Troy Franklin and Cortland Sutton. Didn't see a lot of Pat Bryant. Surprised
he was hurt. He didn't play.
Okay, was he out? Okay.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't see him. But so either way, so you're talking about a guy who has probably the surest hands on the team right now, who's hurt, and how are you feeling? Even though we didn't get anybody in the trade deadline, and we were all worried about our receiver core after seeing that game.
I'm all good. I am perfectly fine. I think there was a lot of hesitation back in the beginning of this year because we didn't see the usage from Mims. And I think coming into this year and even last year and in prevailing years, we've still had it in our head that Mims is our number 2 and that we are looking to Mims to fulfill that role of a counterpart to Cortland. And he's never going to be that. He's not that. We should just make peace with it. But, at the same breath, I also never expected the development from Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin was on the outs, potentially not even making this roster at signs last year, getting screamed at during practice. Like the arc that Troy Franklin has made in a year-over-year sense is remarkable. Troy Franklin is legit. He's for real. I think he is an absolute future for us at that number 2 slot and be on that outside opposite Cortland. And Pat Bryant obviously didn't play, but I have so much confidence in Pat Bryant. I love Pat Bryant. I think Pat Bryant is going to take on the role of Cortland eventually. He's the big wide receiver in waiting for that role. And I think he'll absolutely capture that. So like that is a positional group that I have zero qualm with. We don't need an addition even in the off season. We just need to keep developing the room we already have. And I wouldn't have necessarily said that at the beginning of the season, but just Troy Franklin in and itself is the reason. Honestly,
I don't think you'd have said that halfway through the season. I think
probably not.
I think even when we were only 5 games in a win streak, you still were just kind of like, Troy Franklin, worst, the most unsurest hands in the league, right? Which I said we were all kind of getting upset with how many she was getting targeted and how many drop passes we had. And we had that we were having the issue just like, why is he quitting on plays? But seeing this guy, like you said, he's developing and he's becoming that guy like that we thought Mims was going to be, right?
Yep.
And so even when unfortunately, whenever our time with Cortland Sutton ends, and if you are right, Pat Bryant's going to step up and he's going to fill that role. If it's not Troy Franklin, I do think Troy Franklin is going to be that stable number 2 wide receiver on our line. I don't think we're going to see much of Michael Bandy or LaJordan after this season. I could be wrong, but I don't think.
I just don't know if Lil Jordan Humphrey is a drug that Sean Payton can quit. That is his guy. That is the only reason he's on our team is because of Sean Payton. It was written all over the walls that Lil Jordan Humphrey, when he did return, was going to be involved in this offense. Like Sean Payton can't help himself for that. But
that's fair.
You're
right.
Fair. Like I don't anticipate ever seeing Michael Bandy again. I think that's a flash in the pan. As we should.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, going on to, let's see, what else can we get into about what's going on? Do you have any topics that you're like have just been grinding your gears?
Yeah, I mean, like, just I don't know if you saw the post-game interview about the overdogs. Like, hey, Bo, you came into this game underdogs. How do you feel? Well, we think we're the overdogs. And as soon as he said that, man, it's like it gave the marketing people out in the world like a green light to like go crazy. So it is amazing to see all of the vendors out there, my boy included, D-Line up in DNVR, already thrown out overdog designs with overdog sweatshirts, T-shirts, and even Bo Nix himself getting into the game of this thing. He made his own overdog apparel line already, and it's for charity. I can't speak off the top of my head of what charity it's for. I think it has something to do with Habitat for Humanity or something like that with Denver. But like, okay. I thought that was pretty cringy at the time. But maybe because there's so many people that were seemingly had the design already written up and it was released as soon as he said it, maybe that was a coordinated effort that he already had that planned because they were underdogs coming into the game, that if they won that game, he knew like, no, I'm going out with we're the overdogs. Did you see that interview that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw
it. Cringy to you?
Dude, I want to say it was cringy. It's not cringy. And the reason why I say it's not cringy is because I think Bo is just a goober. I think he's just a goofy goober at heart. And so when they're like sitting there like, oh, you were the underdog. Like, how do you feel? He's like, we're the overdogs. I'm like, dude, you're such a like. I just laugh. I'm like, dude, that's just goofy as heck.
It's one of the rare instances that I got a little bit of a Russell Wilson vibe from him of like, oh my God, that's a little too,
no, because like I said, because I don't think it
bulky
was
for me, dude. Like,
no,
a little too
I don't think
cheesy.
because like, I don't think it was. I think it's the way that he presented it. I guess is my thing.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like oh, people always be like it wasn't. It was just like, I mean, we're the overdogs, dude. I don't know. And you're like, dude, you're just being. That's 100% you just being goofy and just happy that you beat the Packers. Like it wasn't.
Right.
There was no like, oh, we're like people want to come over and like because that's not the mentality this team has had, right?
True. Yeah,
through
we
all
don't
the
gloat.
years. It has not been a gloating, hasn't been gloating, hasn't been full of yourself. Like it's been a very humble and very just. We're just here to play football, man. Like we're just doing good. Like I said, I've seen our guys more so in interviews get stern when it comes to the hate against one of their teammates, right? Particularly Bo. Where guys are just like, that's my quarterback. Like you guys are cowards. You leave him alone. Like I don't know what your problem is. Like the guy's out here doing the best he can. We're winning. We're winning, right? And in this game, especially this last week, where it was not just a fourth quarter, a half quarter, or a fourth quarter, or a half of a game. We played 4 fantastic quarters of football, 60 whole minutes of absolute fantastic football between play calling, between offense, defense, special teams, between everything against an actual, listen, Green Bay is a good team. All right, I will give their flowers there, dude. Like I'll give them their flowers. They couldn't beat Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. They had to tie them. That's like the biggest thing that I can talk crap on. We blew them out. But I mean,
hey, we're all Cowboy fans this week. Go Cowboys this week.
Yeah.
Hey, all they got to do is beat the Chargers, man. We get this division locked up this week. That would be music to my ears, man. To know that we've got the division locked up. But like I said, I think that it's one of those things that we just have such a good rounded team and everybody just wants to be there. Sure.
And I enjoy that. The other thing that I keep hearing, and I don't know how I feel about it, is all this talk about Vance Joseph leaving.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to happen, or do you think whether we win a Super Bowl or we have a deep playoff run that Sean Payton looks at Vance and is like, let's run it back, right? Gets the Vince Lombardi trophy, holds it up immediately 5 minutes as soon as they get off the field. It's just Sean there going, let's run it back, dude. Like
Vance and Sean are together by convenience, not by choice. Vance was not Sean's first pick. He's not his guy. He's not historically been under his, umbrella here. So like, it would not surprise me if Vance went and sought greener pasture to get a home, a head coaching opportunity. I mean, John Elway once said he is a leader of men, and we all laughed at it at the time. But like, honestly, he's kind of grown into that. He kind of is a leader of men, and I can totally see VJ jumping at an opportunity if he gets a good opportunity for a head coach. But and the rumor is wherever he goes, Davis Webb would be going with him as the OC to wherever he goes, to keep the continuity. And that would be devastating if that happened. But if Vance Joseph does leave, we get some compensatory picks that I believe would be like a third rounder. So it wouldn't be super upset about that. We also have Jim Leonard kind of in the waiting that he would probably be the internal promotion for that gig. And Jim Leonard is extremely sought after. Like he's going to be a DC in this league at some point. So, I mean, we would survive. It would be okay. I guess let me put it this way: we can stand to lose Vance Joseph before we lose Sean or Bo. I think those are two personalities that are more intricate to our culture and to the success of our team compared to VJ. If I had to pick one to go, but it still would suck. Would you see Vance going? How much do you see Vance being responsible for this defense compared to we just have a baller roster? Like on paper, you look at our players, any DC should be successful with what we got on the field here.
I mean, so my thing is this. We've seen Vance Joseph, like here, Bronco Rob, as always, my boy coming in. Vance is a defensive coordinator. He's not a good head coach. We saw Vance Joseph as a head coach, right? In the dark times. Having said that, do I think that he is the same coach or the same man that he was when he was our head coach for the 2016-2017 seasons? No, I don't think so. I'm sure he's grown. I'm sure he's learned. I'm going to tell you something. He might not have been Sean Payton's number one guy or, under his tutelage. He now has been under him. He now has seen how Sean Payton operates, right? Whether he agrees or disagrees with him on, everything is besides the point. But I am afraid that if Vance Joseph leaves, right, and he goes to, we'll say, random team out there, the Giants or Tennessee, right? If they make a bid for him and he goes and coaches one of those head teams, I think that we will have a rough next season. Yes, you're right. We have really great players. We have really great players. We have, not a single one of our boys, I think that you can look at and be like, he's a problem. Even Riley Moss, who just, the refs hate. But the way that he sees the defense and how he has built that defense, right? He is so into it because he's been building this not just this season. He's been building it for the last what?
Well,
5?
I would say ever since that 70 burger in Miami, it has literally been everything up from there. But that was the point, and he was interviewed and he said this. That was the game where he went to Sean Payton and said, in order for me to be successful and do this job, I have to do it myself and not just copy and paste the Vic Fangio crap that we were doing before. So,
that's the thing is, and like I said, it's been a while. I think that I think that somebody's going to offer him a position. I think that as much as I want to say, I think that if we get to the Super Bowl and we win it, I think there's no keeping Vance Joseph here. As much as I hate, I think if we come out with the Super Bowl win, I think he's gone. I think he's going to take a job. He's going to start trying to branch out. And depending on how he does, we see him back in 2 years. Yeah. Or he does great, and we see him every year. Once or twice a year. And then whoever comes in, I think is going to use. We're going to have not a rebuild, but there's going to be some tweaks, and it's going to be a couple of rough. It's going to be a rough season or two, hopefully.
And I don't think there would be a massive drop off, to be quite honest with you, just because I don't think there'll be a huge turnover in a player sense. JFM is probably the only defensive starter that we will not retain going into next year. And I think we're going to have ample money with Russell Wilson contract dropping off that we might actually get super aggressive in money and go spend on the defensive side of the ball once again, just like we did this last offseason. So I think honestly, I think we'll go spend more money offense side. I would think so.
I think more so offensive line. I don't think we're gonna get rid of. I think that's the only thing that we all feel like is the weakest point. I think in our game, which isn't very much, but if we look at the picture as a whole, I think the offensive line is the weakest point. Right? We had this conversation a couple weeks ago where we had just signed Roach and was it McGlinchey that we had just signed?
I mean, that's been a hot second, but
this is a couple weeks ago. We had this conversation. I think it was McGlinchey that we signed, or that we had re-signed, and you were like, I was like, pay him.
Yeah,
right.
The offensive line has struggled at times, but it's really because we've had so much injury to that right now. You know, we have had, Ben Powers is coming back, but he's been out for a while. And McGlinchey was questionable for that game, but he played extremely well for being on the fence of playing. I was extremely impressed with McGlinchey, but he did get a false start. We got a Garrett Bowles holding. We got the greatest hits of some of the infractions that the offensive line has done here in the last couple of years. But I mean, I guess if we're talking about like what we're spending money on, I've always looked at the offensive line as a really hard commodity to purchase, because if they're worth a damn, they're usually not available. Teams don't give up, free agents on the, offensive line side of the ball. I would anticipate us to sink some serious funds into the tight end room, because Evan Ingram has been a complete dud, and we still have tons of need. We probably need 2 new tight ends next year, honestly. So I think that'll probably be the first primary place, because there could be some movement, I think, free agent wise on there. Because drafting a tight end is like a 3-year investment. You're not getting a rookie tight end that does much usually.
Yeah, which we've seen this year with the tight end that we did draft. That are good. Which, by the way, he's in the chat real quick. We'll show him some real quick. What up, my guys? Appreciate you guys holding down. Nothing rhymes without me tonight. Much love. Love you, big dog. Hope you're feeling better. But I mean, when we drafted him, when we drafted, I can't remember what his name is because
Caleb Loner.
Yeah, Caleb Loner, right? And we were all like, "Oh, he plays basketball. He's huge."
It's not even on the roster.
Not even on the roster. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, no, I think I do agree. But I don't think Evan Ingram is a dud. I don't think he's a dud per se. I think that he and Bo did not click the way that Sean Payton had anticipated. Yeah, Evan Ingram has also said it, and I think there's a little bit of animosity between the two of them. Because, like I said, I cannot, in good conscience, blame Evan Ingram when I've seen some of the throws that have gone that have been targeted to him.
There's something to be said about that. Yeah.
If it was like, hey, every time it's hitting him in the center of the chest and he drops it like 9 out of 10 times, or he makes the catch, but then he just immediately can't slip coverage, or he can't if it was like that, to be like, hey, I absolutely agree. There have been times where that man has had an open field with no one near him and is either overthrown, underthrown, or just outside. A lot of that.
The timing between those two are definitely not on. Like, you are totally right in that. And
so yeah,
do we go after quarterback and wide receiver? Yeah. Massive.
So I think that you're right in the sense that we might go after another tight end. I do. I don't think we'll get 2. I think we will get 1, mostly for blocking.
Yeah, in line for sure. We need Troutman
for sure. Yeah, Trout. I mean, he does his best. He tries. He's
a Sean Payton guy. Again, that's Sean Payton's boy. Like that. He all the way back in New Orleans. Like it'll be hard for him to kick the habit of Adam Troutman. But
yeah,
We got to, because we got to have an upgrade from a blocking
Yeah,
standpoint.
no. Only because hopefully, maybe. What do we do with Atkins then? Do we keep Atkins or do we?
It's the same thing you do with Prentice, man. Who cares? Like those are Jags. Just some guys. Some guys.
You better simmer down.
I know.
You better simmer down. All right. I like Prentice. All right.
I'm gonna give my cousin an aneurysm because he definitely is the president of the Prentice fan club. Like but yeah, man. I mean, those are just whatever positions to me. Those are throw-ins. Those are a fullback, and that like third or fourth tight end is really just kind of throw-in positions that a lot of NFL teams don't even roster. They don't even have on their depth chart. So like, and I ain't too worried about them. There's no market for them elsewhere. They're not going to some other team. I'll say that. So it's either us or the couch.
Sorry, my wife was distracting me. I apologize.
That's okay. That's all good. Trying to think of like any other big picture topics. I mean, other than like just focusing in on this Jacksonville game and the repercussions that come with this Jacksonville game. Like what do you think will happen this Sunday? Do you think it's going to be an easy victory? Do you think Jacksonville's going to show up? Like,
no, Jacksonville's going to show up. Jacksonville's going to show up. Trevor Lawrence is going to show up. It means more to them than it does to us. We've clinched the playoffs. We've clinched the playoffs. We're going either way.
We're feeling ourselves.
Right? They're fighting for their life. Right? They're going to come and play. It means more to them. Like, we want to win, right? We want to keep winning the division. We want to keep, we would love to cinch that number 1 seed. They want to be in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence is coming because he knows if he loses and Houston wins, he's going to get kicked out. He's going to be the wild card. And CJ Stroud is going to hold the division, right? Or if Old Man Rivers wins and him and CJ both lose, Old Man Rivers and the Colts are going to start popping back up into that spot. All right. They're going to come. They're going to come to play, dude. They're going to come to play. It's not going to be an easy game, I don't think. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think it's going it has potential to be a one-score game. However, I think our boys are going to be our defense especially, I think are going to be. We've seen this defense without big name guys. Right. I think that's another thing that we really kind of glossed over when we're talking about injuries. We've seen this defense with big name guys out for injury, and we didn't skip a beat.
Not miss a beat. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think the Brandon Jones news is like going to be massive needle mover. At least I don't think. With as much, like I said, depth as we have in a secondary sense, we should be able to band-aid that up. And I mean, it's not like Jacksonville has like crazy weapons. Jacoby Myers that got traded over from the Raiders, he's done pretty well since he got traded over. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to get locked up by PS2, so you can pretty much just take him off the board. Brendan Strange, their tight end, is pretty dang good. He came back from an injury as well. I think he's only been back maybe like 3 weeks or so, but he's serviceable. He's a pretty good tight end. But, like I said, I think it kind of goes back to we just got to create pressure and just kind of play the game on our terms. And we've, I think, done a pretty good job of that through this season of playing to our terms, not playing to someone else's game plan.
With the exception of a few outliers, I would agree with you. The only outliers being the first Raider matchup. And the first Raider matchup, I didn't watch the Jets game in its entirety, mostly just because I was just so mad, and it just as soon as I saw that we weren't blowing them out, I was just like, you didn't want to get up early, the early morning London game. I meant to. I woke up like I think in like I missed the whole first quarter, and when I saw that I was like, this game isn't going to be worth watching. As much as I love the Broncos, and I'm just so mad because we're not absolutely blowing them out. I was so mad, but no, I think the only outliers would be the Giants and the first Raider game, where we just weren't playing to our level. Right? We had the Mile High Miracle that came out of the Giants game. The Raiders game, we won by like Houston, the one score game, right? Winning by a field goal made sense to me because Houston's
we were
defense.
In control of that game though for a while. Like the Houston game, we played pretty well, and I feel like it was just we played well,
but
good,
yeah, no, 100%.
Good teams.
The KC game, we were in control the whole time. I felt going into it right. Everybody's nervous because it's the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes at the time. Once we hit like halftime, I was like, oh, not a single person feels worried about this.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with you that we've played our game. We have kept it close. We're not flashy. And I mean, I said I think what I think is absolutely hilarious is that this season really does kind of, it's not the same, but it very, very heavily rhymes to the 2015 season where it's us and the Patriots duking it out for the AFC #1 seed.
Yeah.
And it'll be the first time that we have been in this position in 10 years. We're not coming in at all. Like we're either going to be top dog or not at all is what it seems like.
Yeah, and then they're very, similar in a lunch pail type of team. We've grinded out almost every win we've had this year. Same with 15. Offense just, has been rough at times, and then there's times that are electric. But the holding force for our team is amazing defense and special teams every once in a while getting a spark. Like that was another kind of differentiating thing for that 2015 team was the special teams absolutely got sparks. Like there were times where our special teams won us games. And like Marvin Mims this last game with some really good punt returns, good kickoff returns. Like we've seen that story this year as well for us. So yeah, I mean, it's very eerily similar of kind of how we're getting to that point. I want to bring this up real quick. Resident hype man, Shy Vargas in the house.
What up, Shy?
He's asking, do you think we can sweep KC?
If we get another Shy Vargas get shiped video come game day on Christmas.
Oh,
for sure. No, I think we could. I absolutely think we could. I think we could sweep the Chiefs this year. Like I said, mostly because Patrick Mahomes we're going against Gardner Minshew and the Chiefs. Yes, it's in Arrowhead, and Jay is gonna look at us and be like, "It's a different team." In Arrowhead, like, yeah, sure, Patrick Mahomes is there, but it's Arrowhead, and with the amount of their running back room is thrashed, right? Patrick Mahomes has been their running back room, and he's been dual hatting as a running back and a quarterback.
Hence why he's hurt.
But,
yeah.
So, I think everybody thought that Pacheco and Hunt were gonna, dual back this, and we're gonna do real good. They haven't. They haven't done great, and especially coming up against our defense, even if it's at home, we're gonna see it. Your NFL weekly sponsored Travis Kelce touchdown pass. We're gonna see it, right? That's just in the script for every Chiefs game. Hey, he gets one. But no, I think this Gardner Minshew was a Colt. Couldn't hack it as a Colt. Steichen didn't like him. Steichen sent him to Vegas. He was at Vegas last season as a starter. Got hurt, I'm pretty sure. I think, right?
Yep.
Got hurt. I think like week 6 or something. Like it was after we played him. We beat him in Vegas.
PS2 interception.
Famous PS2 interception, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we got that going for us, and then and now he's been sitting on the bench behind Mahomes the entirety of the season, right? When he came out, I think he still ended up throwing an interception.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about Gardner Minshew. Not.
I'll tell you my cautionary tale for all you people out there. Early on in the year, when everything obviously was still at play, I bought a ticket to this Kansas City Denver Christmas game, and I still plan on going. I still plan on being there in person. However, there are tickets now going for like $25 to get into the stadium because Mahomes is out, because they're out of the playoffs, and like the fair weather fans that are KC Chief fans, they ain't gonna ride with their team when they suck. They've just been around having the parades and fill in the parking lots with all the Swifties when they've been winning. So we'll return back to normalcy where, you know, they'll shiver back into themselves of like basically the same level of Charger and Raider fans. So
they're all going back to being New England fans.
Correct. Go dust off your Tom Brady shirt.
Yeah. Right. They're all going back. It's like, oh, I was here the whole time. Like, get out here.
But just so the cautionary tale is when you are trying to buy tickets to an NFL game for this late in the year, just wait. Don't knee jerk and buy a ticket, okay? Like the dumbass you see before you. So just words of the wise, unfortunately. But I will be there, rain or shine, even if we do not have our starters out there, which, I mean, heck, I went over the scenario of that if we clinch number 1 seed, maybe in a weird, bizarro world, we rest our starters on Christmas night and then play against the Chargers for the warm-up game to get ready for the playoffs, kind of like what Rob was saying, because you don't want to take 2 weeks off. You get the bye, and maybe you don't want to have a full 2 weeks if you rested then for the Charger game. So maybe there's something to that, but I don't know. That could maybe be the only reason we would lose that game. Would, you know, realistically, is if we rest our starters and they rest their starters fully. So we'll see. We'll see, Shy.
Yeah, no, I think well said.
Do you wanna maybe do some housekeeping real quick and then get out of the way?
We've kind of been. I've been bad about doing housekeeping.
We're just going ass backwards into this. There's plenty of ways to skin a cat, as they say.
There was just so much to talk about, dude. We weren't here last week, so I was just like, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I just want to talk. All right, so real quick, guys. Hey, listen. Since you've been here, please like, share, subscribe. All right, we're here every single day. We have content, right? Please go on to YouTube, and subscribe to the YouTube network. Here, I'll go ahead and dot this up. All right, there's the QR code. It'll take you right to the YouTube. All right, go ahead, hit the QR code, send it to your friends, tell everybody, hey, go ahead, drop these guys a subscription. Want to know why? Because we still have a Bo Nix jersey to give away. All right, we had the jersey. The guy didn't answer. All right, if you want to take part in the drawing, please go ahead and make sure that your profile is set to public, so that way we can get your name. Yep, so we can get your name and we can put you in the drawing. Once we get the drawing, we will reach out to you. It should be Bronco Rob. Bronco Rob will reach out. We'll get your info. We'll send you a brand new, crisp Bo Nix jersey. All right. And if you subscribe, you're also going to get access to all these other great shows. All right. On Monday and Friday at 11 a.m., we have Bronco Blitz with the Bronco Gentleman. He always has great information, always coming in here. He's the guy to talk to about, post game on Monday, and then Friday, what to look forward to that weekend. On Mondays at 7, we have Bronco Bros. Great dudes. Heck of a time. Jay was on their show a couple weeks ago. It was an absolute madhouse. He had a great time on it. On Tuesdays, we have this show, Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, where you can come hang out with me, Jay, and when he's feeling up to it again, we'll have the Mile High Viking. On Wednesdays, we have Mile High Sports Symposium, which is these guys talk about everything. All right, I don't have the attention span for like Jay does and like the Mile High Viking does, or like these guys do. They talk about football. They talk about hockey. They talk about basketball. I think they would talk about baseball, but they like hate the Rockies because apparently the Rockies are terrible. I don't know.
They
Like I said, I
suck.
don't pay. See, there you go. See, Jay, I tell you, I don't have the attention span for it. Okay, I
Fill
can
the
watch.
team.
I can watch guys get hit and knocked about for an hour for football, but I can't get into this. But great guys, great information. That's at 2:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and at 6 p.m. we have Broncos talk. Great show, great guys, great time. They're talking about it. They'll come out and they'll hang out with you guys. We have on Thursdays we have the Oukast podcast with our boys Medlock and Tim Dog. Correct, Jay?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes,
So
sir.
Medlock and Tim Dog, two great guys. Absolutely have great conversations. Always out there with the people. And then on Fridays for our Spanish speaking speakers, we have Viva Los
Viva
Broncos.
Los Broncos.
Viva Los Broncos. Right, completely straight in Spanish. I keep saying I'm going to get Duolingo and learn Spanish so that way I can go and show my love. I've just been too lazy to do it, so I need to get on that. Jay, send me a text and remind me.
Google Translator, man. Google Translator is your best friend.
All right. And then, as always, we have our breaking news, the fresh squeeze. Whenever we find out pertinent information, that's where you're going to find it. And then every single game day, we have our pregame, our play-by-play game, and our post-game show every single game day. Pre-game is an hour before the show. It'll be either me, Jay, the Mile High Viking, or one of our great other hosts on one of the other shows to come in and just get you pumped. We have our good man Shy Vargas, we've already talked about in the house, with his Get Shiped videos every day, just so that way, you know what, you got to get pumped. Shy gets you right. Then we got the Bucking Booth, the play-by-play game, which is hosted by our good friend Rob, Bronco Rob. Let me tell you something. You want to sit there and you just can't watch the game. It's too busy or you don't get it, right? And you want to know what's going on. Bronco Rob does a great job. All right. And it's usually he's got somebody else there. We just have good conversation. We're reading the play-by-plays. It's just, he does a great job with that show. Please stop by and go take a look. Go hang out with him. And then every day, right after the game ends, we have our post-game show where, you know what, win or lose, we're going to talk about it, right? We're going to buck our feelings, right? So far, the last couple of weeks, how many weeks, Jay?
I don't know.
How many weeks? How many weeks has it been that we've just been winning, and it's just been an absolute frenzy of let's go.
11? 11?
11 straight games of us just going crazy. And so, please. And, of course, one more thing. We got to get into our sponsor, which is Dubby. Dubby, great Gearless Energy Blend, right? You're going to use OBN10. I'm going to go get you some Dubby, all right? And why should you go get Dubby? I'll tell you right now why. Because it has no sugar, no calories, no maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors. It's formulated with nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and neurotropics, including the patented neurofactor nootropic. And the caffeine is derived directly from the coffee fruit. Whew, that's a lot to say real fast. Listen, all it is, I can tell you this. It's great. Jay loves it. The Mile High Viking loves it. It is just, it's good for you. It tastes great. They have a whole bunch of flavors. And so, by all means, go get you the dub by using, like I said, OBN10 at W. Oh,
get you all jacked up.
Yeah. You're gonna feel good. So,
yeah.
Alrighty. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. I was like, freaking out. I was like, what did I do wrong? All right. So, other than that, now that we've gotten that finally knocked out, Jay, is there anything else you want to get into?
Yeah, let's just put a bow on this for tonight and just kind of end with maybe just some overview of the next game versus the Jaguars. I do have initial lines and initial numbers here. We are underdogs no more. Vegas finally got their heads out of their behinds, and we are now a 3-point favorite. 3-point favorite over Jacksonville at home. as we should be. So, right when the shirts get printed here of overdog, we may not be a underdog again this season. And I'm talking all the way through the Super Bowl. We might not be an underdog. So you love to see it, but it is a great time to make some money if you're all about that. -3 for the Broncos is going to hit all day long. We will easily beat Jacksonville by more than a field goal. And just for some reference here, over-unders at 45.5, which kind of equates in a narrative sense to Vegas thinks it's going to be a little high scoring of a game, which, I mean, kind of makes sense given that we just put up a showing on offense and Jacksonville just put up 48 points last week. Granted, it was versus the Jets, but still, that's a lot of points to put up if you're, the Jacksonville offense. So what do you think about the style of game? You think it's going to be a high scoring game, low scoring game? What say you?
This is one I'm definitely going to pick the over. This is one that if for sure if I do the pregame this week, for sure I'm going to tell you right now, I'm gonna pick the over. And the reason I'm going to pick the over is, like I said, it's going to be one of those games that Jacksonville needs this more than we do. Jacksonville is going to come to play. For us to win this game, we're going to have to put up points. Are we going to have to put up as many as they did against the Jets? Probably not. But I for sure see at least, I mean, it could, like, I'm thinking like 33 to like 25 is like my go-to for like a score. Like, it's going to be a game. I think it'll be a game. And I think it'll be a lot of Trevor Lawrence finding gaps in our defense, right? And having that time. I think it'll be a lot of Bo just going, not in my house, dog. Like, who do you think you are? But yeah, that's what I think. And knock on wood, I being the overdogs on this, I don't like it. I like being the underdogs, man. I like it. I love it when people come into our house and they're like, we're going to go against the Broncos, dude. And then all of a sudden, we put 44 up on, Dak Prescott's forehead without letting him score a touchdown. And we get him benched and everybody goes, hey, maybe that guy's not an MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like those showings. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to be under the radar when you're rattling off 11 straight and you're the number 1 seed. And like, I mean, you are the cream of the crop right now. But at the end of the day, for me in this game, I would be picking unders. And that's just honestly more of a Jacksonville thing. That's great. And I'm glad you're all warm and fuzzy for putting up 48 against a Jets defense that literally fired their defensive coordinator directly after that game. So, like, the Jets are a historically bad defense, so that's not surprising to me. They're going from the worst defense playing to the best defense this week. So I think Trevor Lawrence is going to come back down to earth. I would be surprised if they get 2 tutties. I would say it'd be an under 14-point performance for Jacksonville this week. And it's so hard to predict our offense because there's weeks where, best offense in the world. And then there's weeks where, we play the Raiders where we put up 10 points and like, we're lucky to have 10 points. So I would go with the under, and I'm going to say it's probably going to be more of a 24-10 game for us, or 24-7. But low scoring for Jacksonville. They ain't going to do shit against our defense. I don't. We talk about frauds. Who? The title of this show. The Jacksonville Jaguars are frauds, in my opinion. They haven't played. They haven't beat anybody worth their time. Like, they still tout the Kansas City victory they had on prime time at home. Like, that's probably their best victory. Obviously, we know what Kansas City is now, right? So not that big a deal. That's my 2 cents.
Well, we'll see. But I mean, I think with that, dude. Anything else? Last thoughts?
I don't think so. Right. My only other final thoughts overall is just, man, my hockey team, the Avalanche, are absolutely killing it. My basketball team, the Nuggets, are absolutely killing it. We literally got the best hockey player in the world. We've got the best basketball player in the world. And literally, we have the best football team in the world, all in one city. Just don't take this for granted. You know, Colorado sports fans in general, it doesn't happen like the stars aligning like this very often. So, you know, take a moment to really appreciate the moment of we're living in paradise right now as a sports fan. So, man, soak it in. That's all I got to say.
So I saw a meme about that. I think it was today or yesterday, but it was like one of those funny ones where it was like had pictures of like Bo and the Broncos and the Avalanche, you know, and the Nuggets, and it was like thank you for all. And then at where the Rockies were, it was like not you, and then it was for all of the memories this season. And it was just the Rockies, not you.
Dude, those are some of my favorite memes of like. You literally saved my life, and then the next is like, I'm just Bo Nix. Like I'm just Bo Nix. Like, no, you don't understand. Thank God. It's party in the USA.
I think that I completely agree with you. I think we're going to beat the Jags. I think it's going to be a good game. I still have great hopes that we're going to sweep the rest of the season. I think we're going to end this season 18-2, right? Or yeah, I think we could see an 18-2 season. I think we're going to clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC, and I think that we're going to have a heck of a postseason, and I'm super excited for it. And so from me and Jay. And the Orange and Blue Network, Mile High salute. And we will see you guys next week.
Let's go.
Orange and Blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with Orange and Blue. Catching up on all that we knew. Hit play, let the episodes accrue. Nothing rhymes.